Yeah, my name's Jason Taylor. I'm just on here giving my testimony. I just want to let people know, how far Jesus has brought me through addiction and stuff. Let's see. Okay, I started out in life, and I didn't have a dad. I didn't have a father. And then and later on in life, I found out that the root of the pain that caused me to use drugs in the first place was not having a father. And that made me always constantly be wishing that I had a dad or knew something was wrong. And then when I was about 14 years old, I started using drugs. I started smoking weed. I started drinking and that kind of thing. And it just got progressed. It just progressed from there. And now I'm actually doing really good. But needless to say, I used for the last, let's see, hang on, here we go. Okay, so for the last 3 years and 3 months, I've been clean from everything. Like, I haven't used any drugs or anything like that. But before that, I was actually I used meth, and I was on meth for about 10 years. And I shot it up for the last 5, and I was pretty hopeless at the end there. I didn't see a way out, and I didn't see a way that I could change. Because in high school, when it all first started, it was cool, it was fun. I had a handle on it. Like, it was just a thing that we did on when we wasn't in school and stuff. And then it just started getting worse and worse, and then started taking pills, and you know how that goes. Everyone knows how that goes. But the meth, man, I really couldn't. I really didn't see myself getting away from it. Like, I would go. Everything in my life involved either chasing, making, or getting high on meth. Like, every day of my life, I spent hours. I spent my whole life doing that. Like, and for some reason, I had this false sense of, because I just wanted to be a part of something. I wanted to be a part of a group. I just wanted to be a part of something that just wasn't me. Because one of the things in life that I always hated the most was being alone. So I wanted to be a part of something, and I just happened to pick the wrong group to be a part of. So I had this I had this false sense of, like, omerta, like this false sense of code of silence, like, code of the streets. Like, I just wanted, I thought that was the right thing to do, was to do drugs and, like, protect other people that did drugs. And I still to this day, follow a code. Like, I'm not saying that, but life is just different now. Like, I've changed so much, and life's really good now. I feel like I'm doing bad on this, kind of, but I'm not. I just keep. I'm sorry that I keep jumping back and forth, like, from what I'm really here to say is, I was lost, and I never thought that my life would be where it is now. And okay, I actually, I just want to bring this out. When I was younger, when I was in my addiction, I ended up overdosing really bad. I was on house arrest. And I was on house arrest. I just had went to the doctor. to the doctor and got Somas and Xanaxes and methadone. I already had methadone, and I went and got Somas and Xanaxes. And anyway, I was in my house, and was in my mom's house, and I ended up, on the way home, I ended up taking a handful of Xanaxes, a handful of Somas, just trying to, I had to go get prescription ones so I would be cool to take them, so I did that. And then I took those, and I ended up overdosing at my mom's house, and I was on house arrest. And so before it's all said and done, I ended up taking a handful of Xanaxes, and then I forgot that I took them because the Xanaxes kicked in. So I had forgotten that I took anything, and I took another handful of Somas and didn't even realize it. And then like, I feel like that. I feel like I'm rambling a lot, but that's all right. Okay, so I ended up forgetting that I took those, and I took more, and I ended up overdosing at my mom's house on house arrest. And knowing now that what I know now about the biblical study of the word pharmacy, comes from a Greek word called pharmakeia, which means witchcraft. And you really don't realize that when you take drugs, you're given either partial or full control over the demonic forces that are trying to destroy you, trying to steal, kill, and destroy. Yes. And when I did that, the things that I did while I was under while I had took those, like, I went and deadbolted the doors. Like, I went and locked the back door, locked the front door, like, so no one could get in after I took the pills. And I ended up being in the bedroom at the end, and I was married at the time, and my wife at the time had went to work, and she never ever came home from lunch. She never came home, like, during lunch or whatever, but something told her to come home. So she came back, and luckily she did, or I ought to be dead. She come back, she tried to get in, couldn't get in, and she ended up looking through the window, and I was in the bedroom like this, seizing out, and I was bleeding out of my mouth, and and my house arrest officer came by, luckily, at that time. So he was able to get in the house and get me out or whatever. But by the time I had gotten to the hospital and everything, they had to put a catheter in. They had to pump my stomach with charcoal. I was in a coma. For 3 days. But on the third day, I woke up. And then it's funny how Jesus loves us so much that He will actually use things that are symbolic of Himself for you, because we were created in His image. So why wouldn't I wake up on the third day like He woke up, like He rose on the third day, And I thought that was awesome. So the doctor said that I had ended up ingesting 60 peach Xanaxes, 60 Somas, 60-some Somas or 40-some Somas, and like so many milligrams, like 4 methadone wafers. And I had the fourth one on my lip when they found me, like where I was trying to get it in, but I couldn't. So that happened, and then I ended up getting out of the hospital, and I tried to rip my catheter out so I could leave the hospital, but I couldn't get it out. So, but I ended up leaving the hospital and went right back to it. Like, didn't have it's crazy how you just, like, because that's all I knew. That's all I know. I mean, that's all I knew, So I went right back to using again, and da-da-da-da-da. And then finally I I got over 100 arrests, from all kinds of different stuff that I did while I was on drugs. And I finally got to a point to where this last time that I went to jail, I had a warrant. I had a warrant for something, I had a warrant, so they picked me up. They took me to jail, and this was March 15th of 2017. With March 15th of 2017, they took me to jail. I was in jail. And I ended up getting sent to. They wanted me to go to rehab, and I never tried that before. So they sent me to a place called Recovery Matters in East Chicago, which was an awesome place. Like I really liked it there. It was a 30-day thing, and I ended up learning, a bunch of stuff or whatever. And then they sent me to the House of Hope, and I went there. And actually, when I was in jail, before that, I had a friend that I ended up. We both fasted for our recovery, like and in jail, food's like the most important thing in there. So, it was hard to do that, and we ended up fasting for our recovery. And God, God honored that fast, because I remember before I even got to Anderson, it's just like everything was just set up, like for me to meet the people that I'm with now, and God just set everything up to where it went really good. And I'm just thankful for how far Jesus has brought me. Like I work today. Like, I have my own home. I have a soon-to-be wife that I love very much. He's just put so many things in my life that I'm thankful for, and just put me in a place that I never thought I could make it to. And I'm really thankful. So today, I got 3 years and 2 months sober, and that's just like unheard of for me, because I've never been able to be cleaner for any longer than that. And that's pretty much it, I think. Yeah.